Welcome back, guys, to Weebs Closet. Today we're watching Vinland Saga, episode 23, Two Paths. We're speedrunning this because...
Speed run.
Yeah, Jake needs to go.
All right, putting in the input. All right, glitch through the wall. All right, we're watching the episode.
Check our Twitch, check our Twitter, and then, yes, uncut.
We love you.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
So you're implying that you're stoppable. Bro, I love that scene last week with the waves.
Yeah, like he threw me in for a loop, big time.
That fucking inspired the shit out of me to write something. This shit's so swollen, bro.
I wish that he would actually throw like, I'm glad to see that you're turning just like your father. Some bullshit like that.
I would be surprised if Thorfinn even antagonizes like that.
Yeah.
You know, like he's so subdued. It's kind of weird. He definitely knows he's ending up like his father. That's why his father's still hanging around in his head. It's just he's denying it. Oh.
That's actually quite interesting. The fact that like now the how you call it, intrusive thoughts kicking in.
It's his subconscious telling him that this is the immovable object.
Oh God. I feel like he wants Thorfinn to step out of line. And he's not getting it. He's just walking away while he's talking.
Damn. Okay, yeah, that was a punch right there. The fact that taking 100 punches was a waste of time because he ended up talking to the king, that's... Yeah, he's shaking right now.
The fact that these people are seeing him tremble, like his people, whether it is sadness, happiness, or whatever, you know.
That was not the reaction I thought I was gonna get out of him.
I'm pretty, yeah, like.
I like the POV.
But you wanted to, though. There was a time and space, you know, that you wanted to.
Are they about to become like
besties?
Like, is he about to just be like, I'll let you run forever or some shit?
That's interesting. I like that. I almost felt like once you build your world, come, you know, take refuge in mine. God damn, freaking Thorfinn spitting bars here.
So you remember Askeladd, right? He killed like my dad.
Like, it's so wild. Like I was thinking that probably he said it's like you went from slashing my head to like asking for peace.
What is happening now?
They're just leaving.
What?
This man looking like fucking the Witcher here.
Fucking Geralt's about to go off on him, yeah.
他の農場を接収する計画も白紙に戻す。トルフィンの仕事を増やしては悪いのでな。
That is interesting. The fact that Thorfinn just moved mountains. The amount of respect that this guy has.
Dude, oh my god, I can't believe.
You kind of called that, bitch. Holy shit.
クヌートはイングランド財政を圧迫していた駐英デンマーク軍に解散を命じる。クヌート直属のデンマーク人部隊
Jesus Christ.
What is happening?
16隻の艦隊のみとなった。クヌートが軍事力を手放すことでイングランドの諸侯は
Okay, wow. Holy fuck. So they just like accepted him.
Yeah, like it wasn't that of oppression, it was more of trust, yeah. That is fucking wild.
That is insane, dude. And now I have to say, no clue where this show is going. Because we're not even, I think we're like halfway through the manga at this point. Oh, maybe he is just fucked up after that.
Yeah. He still has the bruises in the face.
Ah, shit, dude.
I mean, he did get punched 100 times. That has to be at least 2 or 3 days afterwards, because like his face is actually like, you know, unswollen. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
ヴィンランドだ。ヴィンランド。生きろと言える世界が欲しい。死ぬ以外救いを持たない人たちに胸を張って語れる。兄弟、一緒に来い。ヴィンランドに。
Please go with him, Jesus. I really was thinking that they're gonna part ways.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Man.
I actually believe in him now. I mean, I always did, but like after that Canute thing.
The talk no jutsu.
Bro, this feels like the finale.
I think it is the last episode.
I thought we had 24. Can we at least get the new Thorfinn reveal?
Oh, right on. I forgot about that, too. They legitimately just showed the fucking last frame of the...
I'm actually kind of expecting it now. But if we don't see it this episode, you can count on having another one.
Yeah.
Thank God Kettle's not there. Shoot one last arrow before I go.
Before my piece.
Oh, man. It's sad seeing Snake and them separating, but... Wait, Patter lived. I just realized that. I thought he fucking died.
I saw it. You're right, and I didn't think about it. We did think that he would do it.
トルフィン、俺はここは素晴らしい農場です。立て直して守っていってください。
Okay.
109でも持って行ってほしかったんだけど。
They offered him.
I guess no head starts for Thorfinn.
I'm an idiot.
One last thing. Oh!
Son of Grim.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh my god. Son of Grim. I wonder if that will come into play later.
This fucking might be the last episode, dude.
Oh, Kettle. I'm like, hold on. This is not the old Thorfinn. Come on now.
Fucking check my anime list real quick while we're watching this. I'm nervous. I don't want this to be the last episode. I'm gonna be pissed.
Me neither, but man.
Oh, wait. Oh, fuck. They kind of hit it off. That's so good.
I like that. I like that.
Okay, yeah, there's one more episode
Okay.
after this.
I like that he's, you know, working for it too now.
Gotta build up those calluses, man.
will we finally get to see the family again?
Maybe next week.
Yeah, but something like
We gotta make a quick pit stop in Iceland, I think.
I like that. I keep forgetting that he came from being a slave too.
あのような者たちを
Oh.
彼らは向かったよ
Man.
ここではないどこかへ
Madagascar. Oh my god. Dude, like that was good.
Man,
That
I feel
was
like I was
good.
almost crying the whole episode, but I didn't.
Yeah, like I threw a couple of comments so I could stop myself from tearing up.
Whoa! This is fucking Iceland for sure.
Ah, shit! We got her! Alright, a couple of days from now.
Okay. I'm not crying, bro.
Anyways.
There we go. Go ahead.
Opinion wise, is I was telling her what we discussed multiple times is that like the first season sets you up for something that's really not what the show is about, and it's not until that one episode that we keep talking about, the ring one, that it's whenever you start realize that you need to start changing shifts or switching the way of thinking on the show. And that's what I was telling her. So she's like, yeah, because this one like was kind of boring at the beginning. It's like, yeah, it's not that it's boring. It's just that again, you were expecting season one.
Season 1 is really, really odd because I love the second half, and I would even say that I love the first 4 episodes. It was kind of like that episode 5 to like 13 stretch that we had,
Where it's Thorfinn constantly fighting and constantly doing shit.
He's constantly, so there's a lot of action, and if you like action shit, you're gonna be really in there for that. But I was kind of waiting for like something to happen in the story or something to happen like to Thorfinn, when really Thorfinn's story was just, let me do this next thing so I can fight Askeladd. And then they introduced Canute, who I don't even know if you remember, we thought it was Ylva for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Because Canute was so girly and so wimpy back then, which holy fuck, we definitely just saw Ylva, and I'm freaking the fuck out right now. That is awesome. And I guess that's his mom.
Yeah.
She aged like 80 years in the past 15.
I mean, it is, yeah. Almost, well, yeah, you're right, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually anime years are a little bit kinder, but I guess Mappa,
I mean, granted, she was already old. She was already, I say, quote
40
unquote
something.
old.
Yeah. So yeah, she's probably pushing 60 at this point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Really, what was odd was when they introduced Canute, and it started being more about like, we got to go to this place to talk to these people and this treaty and these terms, and we got to make peace and we got to make war. And it was like, okay, what does any of this have to do with Thorfinn's story? What they're doing is they're setting up Canute for season 2, because what they're going to do with Thorfinn in season 2 is they're going to fucking clash.
Yeah.
So in that way, I kind of appreciate season 1, but it's like you said, because I never had any doubt what the show was about. Like, I knew what eventually we were getting to, which was, we had this whole thing with Thor's in the first 4 episodes. And then, like, in episode 5 or 6, Thorfinn kills his first man. And from there, I was like, it just hit like an alarm in my head where it was like, we're about to go on a crazy ass, like, downward spiral with this character. But it was kind of those next few episodes where I was waiting for something.
Because the thing is, like, and if you are going to see it, like now, knowing what we know now, and now seeing it from like a broader spectrum, those action scenes are by far what's the most out of place in this whole show. Granted, and I mean it in the way that, like, for the most part, the whole show is about learning something. It's about like appreciating life and appreciating all the instances, all the viewpoints, all the point, everything else around it. And whenever you go to Thorfinn, in order for him to realize this, for him to realize of how on the other side of the spectrum he is, he has to go through all these fights seeking for that one carrot that's then snatched from him at the last second.
Yeah.
So he went through the whole race trying to catch the rabbit in the fuck as a horse or whatever, or dogs actually, just to realize that the rabbit was fake.
I think this is like one of the best seasons of anime definitely I've ever seen. I would put this show on like Mount Rushmore of anime, I would say. Like if I had like a top 4.
That's
It's
the
like,
4 phases.
yeah,
You got
the-
Attack on Titan, and then like one on the corner that's Vinland.
Vinland, yeah, Devilman, Crybaby, and probably Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, that's a good Mount Rushmore, I would say. Got to kick Hunter x Hunter out, unfortunately. I think Vinland, just like
That Chimera season, bro, it just destroyed it.
it's too slow. It's too slow. No, I think it's the best arc personally, but a lot of people think it's too slow.
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't know. Just the character stuff really worked here. And I'm also putting a lot of my bets on the later seasons. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head that this is Vinland Saga, not Thorfinn Saga. So we're going to be following other characters. But also at the same time, there's always going to be another Canute. There's always going to be some character who's way more evil, wants way more power,
More
thinks
imposing.
they're way more right, way more imposing, way more strong. And they're gonna think Thorfinn not only is naive, but like stupid and foolish and weak. And he's gonna have to do something.
To like prove again, kind of like his fight with Snake. He didn't attack or whatever. He was just demonstrating skill,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like showing the cases like I could take you down at if I really tried. It's like understand that if I'm trying to stop this, is because it's for your well-being too.
Yeah. I absolutely believe that in season 3, Thorfinn is going to have a wife. He's going to have kids. And the stakes are going to be raised super fucking high if something bad happens.
Bro, like I really thought that this would be the case, but do you imagine? Because you said wife, you imagine that Einar ends up with Ylva?
I know the manga's already out there and I can't change what's happened, but holy fuck.
That
would be so goated.
Oh my god, that would be great. I mean, and not to downplay Arnheid, she was great.
No, you literally just solved my problem, which was Arnheid dying makes any love interest for Einar just uninteresting. And you kind of just solved that with like one sentence.
Bro, that would be great because then like I feel like that it's also a pilot or a way for Ylva to learn a little bit more of the shit that Thorfinn has gone through, because Einar wasn't there to see his fights, right? Not anything on the, but he's seen the struggles. It's like, wait, so my little brother did all that? Like, did he really made a fucking king just turn around tail? You know, so like I feel like these stories are gonna be so like great for her to actually like be into it. Now, granted, she could already have her own family already here and whatnot. Like I can already see that because there were a couple of people already hitting on her before we left. So most likely she had her whole like life already done. But it would be cool if that wasn't the case and we had Aina.
Yeah, I really hope that she doesn't. Because I think she would be like that perfect, like they'd clash so much like as two individuals, because Einar's not a fighter, but he's big and he can put up a fight. But Ylva's also the daughter of Thor's. And so I just think that dynamic would be super hilarious to see. I still think that they'll have a ton of interaction in the show.
I really want the interaction. I definitely want to see it for sure.
Man, I could say so much. We haven't even talked about the Canute shit. We haven't even talked about like Snake giving his name and how big of a deal that is. Olmar, he's now hooked up with the chick that that was most likely the chick that he was with at the beginning of the season. I think that's also a bit of character development that a lot of people might like skip over, is that like I think a big reason Olmar recognized that at the beginning of the season is because he thought he had some sort of power over like the retainers and the slaves. It's like, oh, I'm inheriting this farm. Like, you want me, you're gonna have to like work to get me. And now he's like, this chick takes care of me. She cares about me genuinely. Like, she earned it. You know, like, and so that's pretty cool. And I think that just goes to show like how far he's come. Man, they fucking nailed every character, dude. Holy shit. And I'm gonna miss so many characters that they introduced.
Rowan, the son of Grim. That was pretty cool.
Son of Grim, like I want to know about Grim, man.
I know, right?
What kind of motherfucker's named Grim, dude? I saw him in Ruby, you know.
That would be interesting because I don't think, and this is where I'm going with this, is I don't think his name would have been that important if he didn't mention the fact that his name XYZ, we would have been completely fine knowing him as Snake. So the fact that he mentioned his name, And you know, there has to be an extra play on that later. Either we're gonna fight his brother, are we gonna, you know, are we gonna meet the father?
It could be. I also see it as like that's a big thing for me, and that's kind of the thing that
Like respect.
it's like a respect thing, and it almost makes me emotional, and I'll say why, but like it's kind of like that last little like bit of intimacy before we leave a character that just really hit. And so I'm totally okay with like Snake not being in the show anymore. I like him enough for him to return, and I want him to, but like that was a full that's sort of the thing. I wasn't expecting a happy ending for this season. You know, it's really hard to do a happy ending, especially in a show where shit's so bad like Castlevania. I remember telling you that Castlevania did a happy ending, and I was like, that is the last show. That's like Game of Thrones doing a happy ending, which, by the way, Game of Thrones did do a happy ending, and it was shit. So it's very hard to do a happy ending sometimes because it can be very unsatisfying. But I think if you have, you know, solid characters, good character development, you can really hit it.
So I can see Castlevania being like positive, doing this and end up being positive, because I mean all the Belmonts are very, very how do you call it? They are not self-sufficient, but you know that word.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
So the fact that like they managed to, you know, fix things here and there, whatever, and you know I don't know how they ended it. I really doubt that is Shrek ending wise. But I feel like
it's fucking close. I'll say that.
Really, it's like everybody happy. Okay, so that's interesting because I would expect it to be more of like, okay, cool,
Like a bittersweet almost.
yeah, like okay, like everything's cool, everything's relatively fine.
No, it is like a fairy tale ass ending.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
No, but Canute, his reaction was. It's funny because like whenever he was like quote unquote crying or whatever, he like whenever I said like my comments like, oh man, everybody's seeing, like even though that it was him laughing the way that he was, it still holds to what I was saying. It's like they are seeing their king.
It broke his character.
Exactly, break in a way that they're not used to. Like if he laughs at somebody, it's in a belittling way. It's like condescendingly or whatever. This was a genuinely like I have no fucking idea what just happened type of laugh.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. And then his decision by the end, just because he saw the change on this man, it's wild.
I will say, and I loved it, slightly rushed. Like it was kind of like we built up this guy so much, and then he was like, and everything worked out in the end. You know what I mean?
I guess you're right, because we haven't seen him imposing anywhere else. This was the first fight that we seen him run.
There was no like, kind of what makes Darth Vader such a compelling villain is that there are hints of goodness throughout. Like you get little bits and pieces so that when Luke turns Vader, it's not like, where did this fucking come from? It's like, oh shit, this was kind of like telegraphed from the beginning. Canute turning was like, you could say originally he wasn't like this, but ever since like he had that development with the priest, there's been no sign of him like wavering on this path. It has nothing to do with the story or really the pace, I guess. It was more of like the narrator. The narrator just kind of telling us. It was telling us rather than showing us that part specifically.
Like I see what you're saying.
It was just like 3 lines. It was like, Canute was like, oh, I'm relinquishing like all the stuff. That's cool. That's awesome. That makes sense. And then it was like his Danish ships
dropped down
dwindled
to 16.
It's like, okay. And then it was like, the English began to trust him. And it's like, okay. And then it was just like, and he was a great king. And it was like, we skipped like 2 or 3 other lines that we could have thrown in there. You know what I mean?
They fast forward all the way to like 10 years from now. It's like, now he's a great king. It's like,
Yeah.
goddamn, like what happened between these years? Yeah, no, I can definitely see that, especially because now that you're narrating down, that is the narrator's part that threw you off, not necessarily their whole interaction. Then yeah, I can concur with that. Because I would have liked to see more of his inner turmoil on this thought process. Because like him saying to Wolf, I think it was his name, the whole like, I don't want to do or cause more work for Thorfinn. I feel like there needed to be another instance of that, of like a reminder. It's like, oh shit, I'm doing the same thing again. I need to stop. like a little section
Something
of
like
that,
that, you
and then that's whenever like it would have felt like okay, it's organic. How do you create a land without war and maintain it? Keep it, nothing happens to it. You know, because that's my thing. To Patters, man, these people made it. These people made a land where everybody can be safe and free. And what more like last thing that he knows is probably they got fucking ransacked by Vikings in the middle of the ocean, killed and pirates, and that's it. Oh man, they're living their good life over there peacefully.
I guess that's the bittersweet part of like watching people go is that
You truly
like,
never know.
You truly never know. I think that's sort of what makes this happy ending work is that in Patter's mind and Snake's mind, everyone on the farm, yeah, they lost two amazing assets, but now those two men are spreading what they learned throughout the rest of the world. And that's kind of how I think they're seeing it, and they're like kind of being okay with it, is like the goodness that they did here is going to be spread, and hopefully that kind of creates, you know, an effect. But really, I think this is definitely going to be like an epilogue episode coming up where like, yeah, the story's already over. And now it's just kind of just wrapping up this whole arc. And then
Probably teases with the new.
yeah. Like there's going to be like a kind of like we had in season 1 with that ending. We saw Einar and we saw
Oh yeah.
whoever the fuck else was that girl. We still don't know. We had comments saying that that's not Arnheid. That's not Ilva. So I have no idea who that chick is.
I may need to go back because I don't remember what girl you're talking about.
No, at the end of season 1, yeah. The last episode. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull that bitch up. This girl. Who the fuck is that guy, you know?
You're right. We were over because I think we were talking about that's probably Ilva. That's probably, and then no.
Consider this our season ender post discussion, unless the next episode is like fucking banging.
Man, it was great. I just feel like there's so much to talk about this show because a lot of people do miss the point. I mean, and I am some people that missed the point at the beginning of this season. Because I remember I'm not gonna say there were a lot of angry comments, but there were a lot of comments that pointed out how much like some of us, me, well,
I don't was it really?
we're missing the whole point of like the show that it's not a fighting anime or whatever. It's like, yeah.
I do know on YouTube there was a whole like season 2 is boring, and I was just like, oh my god,
yeah,
like fucking for real.
It's easy to misunderstand if you are in it for the dual dagger Thorfinn, you know.
I think Mike, despite not having seen the show, put it best when I was talking to him about it, and he said like, if season 2 is what makes you fall off of Vinland Saga, your understanding of the show was probably superficial at best. And like,
has he read the books?
I don't know.
How the fuck he knows?
Well, like, because I was kind of explaining like what's going on online with like people saying it's boring and like falling off the show and whatnot.
Okay.
And I was like, but it's about like what Vinland Saga is about is happening right now, and nobody likes it. And what the fuck is happening? He was like, yeah, they probably have a superficial understanding of the show. And I was like, that is true, you know. Like I guess I couldn't really put it into words, but
yeah, but no.
We'll watch Ruby on Sunday.
Fight.
I am actually really excited. Please, I don't know when this is coming out and when Ruby's coming out, but that's coming back, and we're watching a lot of Ruby.
Yeah, so consider yourself spoiled. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode. It was great. I really want to see the interactions between Thorfinn and the family.
Absolutely.
And cannot wait.
Summer Rose dies.
Yes, at the end. See you.
Goodbye.
Hope you guys enjoyed another Weebs Closet reaction. A special thanks to our Patreons. We appreciate your extra support to keep this channel going. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. See you in the next one.